Hi everyone. Well, as you can see, we got the selectors out, gear selectors out of the John Deere Model B. They came out quite easily. It's not rocket science. The only thing you've got to be careful of are these pawls that sit inside the selector. If we can see there, it sits in there, and there's a spring which holds this pawl type thing up against the shaft, which basically locks the selector into the desired position on the shaft. So it's a bit of jiggly pokery getting them out, but they come out. And so I've just left one in so you can see how it all works. So there is, basically that is the first and reverse selector, and obviously your gear stick end goes in there like so, and you move it along and it goes into first gear. If I remove the shaft like so, well, obviously this thing's going to drop into the bottom of the gearbox. There we go. So there's the shaft. This shaft here, the selectors all sit on there. There's the little grooves that those detents with the springs sit in. 1, 2, such as that. This screwed thing on the end here is the chappy I was talking about adjusting this rod, which as I say holds these selectors, and which in turn holds the position of where the gears sit in relation to each other. As I say, this gearbox is what they call a sliding gearbox. So as you can see, the gears slide on that shaft, and mesh as you slide them. They obviously mesh into the gear in the bottom. So that gear there would be first, and then it directly meshes onto the differential main gear here, which would make you into reverse. This gear here is third and fourth, and your fifth and sixth gears are here. That little gear at the bottom there is the one that meshes. And there's a big long selector comes out and sits on this gear. Your high-low gears, your high and low range, whichever you used to call it, is this fella here. If you can see that. And that meshes with the input shaft. So in there it's in low range, and then back over it's in high range. I don't know if you can see that in the bottom. Oh, something's meshed up at the minute. There we go. So at the moment it's in neutral. So say you wanted to go into second gear, you move your selector, and then you would be in second, and the whole gearbox, as you can see, turns the wheels. I hope I'm making this so it sounds reasonably okay. Our problem, I think if you recall in one of the videos, I was concerned about this movement on here. I have a sneaking suspicion that our problem is going to be in here. That's a bearing that sits inside that gear, and to me it seems extremely slack. That shouldn't be doing that. And I'm hoping with the new bearing it might tighten up, but if it doesn't, it might require me finding a new one of these gears. So, right in the bottom of there, those bevel gears right at the bottom, I don't know if we can see them. Those chappies down there, that's your PTO gears, and that runs a shaft. If we turn it over a little bit, there we go, that runs the PTO to the back of the tractor, which is quite hard to turn, but it does turn. And when I jumped out, I mentioned earlier that a few videos back that the PTO lever seemed to have very little control, and what happened was that was doing this. It jumped out of that selector somehow. So inside again, you can see the big the differential. That is the diff that we're looking at straight away there. This fella here. I suppose it would be your class it as the crown wheel really. And then you've got your little pinions to the extreme left and right. And in here, and there's your bull gears. And lo and behold, last night I noticed, look at that, amazing, load of teeth missing off, a tooth missing off the bull gear. Obviously someone's jammed the foot brake on and it's snatched and ripped the tooth off. So I think I'm going to have to put a new bull gear in there, or a second hand one. We shall see. I think I will. If that last bit of tooth breaks off, we'll have a clunk and we'll have to strip it all down again. So I think for tonight, I'll wind this video up because it's going on a bit. I think tonight I will remove this top gear cluster. All these gears in here tonight. The bearings are absolutely shot. There's a load of play on everything. So that's what we'll do tonight. Okay then. Hope that wasn't too complicated. Thanks for looking.